I don't always think, but when I do think, I think about Delphi. Most of the time, I'm on autopilot, doing what I do. I feel a little bit burned out. I spent basically an entire year every day worrying about Delphi. Now, I've spent other time too, but I'm not talking about in a row, a long time. Every day, drove everybody around me batty, But, this thing has a way of getting a hold of you. Delphi does. It has a way of grabbing all of your attention and giving you what they call a Kentucky hug, which is pulling it up close and tight and hot. It just grabs you in. You can't get away. So, but I do think about things. And I speak about things with my friends on this topic, whether it be Donald or whether it be Tina or whether it be Lauren or any other people that's been around. We still talk about it. It's not the most interesting thing to me, Right now, I have a lot of family issues that I'm having to deal with. Not family issues, but things going on. Life can get complicated sometimes, and you just have to back up and do what you have to do what's right for you and your family. But now, that aside, it is what it is. And of course, a horse is just a horse, But anyway, so I do think about things, and I have been thinking about things lately. And of course, I've just had some random thoughts, and that's what this whole thing is random thoughts about Delphi. Particularly, I'm worried about lately this Marathon convenience store that's there in town. Now, you hear a lot about this place. There's lots of things that we hear a lot about over time, and typically, whenever we hear a lot about something, there's something going on with what we're hearing a lot about. Like with Kagan, there's been all this deep exploration into that. I don't know. I don't know if it's tied into Delphi or not. I've explored it, and I think that it makes sense with what McClellan is saying. Oh, did I say selling or did I say saying? I don't know. That, and I really say saying, because I don't think there's. I hate that McClellan even said that the prosecution doesn't believe that Richard Allen is the only actor involved. It just bothers me. Of course it makes sense given the fact that you have the whole Anthony Shots profile. Personally, it would make zero sense to have released all that information out there in the public if it did not have something to do with these murders. But now, there's always the two evils theory. The two evils theory is that, there are obviously very possible that there could be two evils trying to kill you at one time, or trying to get to you, or two evils, talking in your ear, like two devils. Instead of having an angel and a devil on each shoulder, you have two devils. You have a guardian angel as such that has let you be, for lack of better words. So there could be two evils chasing these girls down. There's been this weird thing going on. It just didn't make any sense to me. I can never, I've been around this, I've been alive in the past few years during the pandemic. Things got crazy. Everybody was talking about this QAnon. I was like, man, Pizzagate, all this stuff is like, this is just some crackheaded conversation that people are having. Then you start seeing things and you have these implications and you're tying all into Delphi. Then you got this Kagan thing that really ties all of the stuff that you're talking about in the mainstream media and deeply in QAnon about disavowed things happening. So it's pretty weird. So it, you hear about things and you think it's just a conversation piece. I've been alive for 50-something years. I've been around these holy rollers and right-wingers, and I'm really one of them, but I'm not that much of a holy roller, and I'm not that right-wing. I'm one of those rare breed animals. You know, I'm in the middle. I don't want to fight. I don't care. You know, I'm not. You know, I'm not into all that. I just have to judge it from that and have to speak in those terms because that's what everybody understands. Now, you know, so there's a context. There's this worldview and context going on wrapped around Delphi murders. And particularly now, but throughout the years. You know, there's this, and there's a social media aspect to this, which is also tied up with, you know, these rings that everybody talks about. And, you know, of course, if you listen to QAnon, you know, it's every politician in one particular party. But then it's really weird that the other parties want to get busted for it. I don't know. That would imply to me that probably both of them are involved. And both of them are using us as pawns. So don't pay attention to the bullshit. Swim out of it. And with that same thought in mind, this is what's happening with this whole situation we're dealing with Delphi. You know, there's spins that's been taken on this thing. And, you know, if you observe common societal things going on, you know, and you listen to certain things, I mean, there are narratives that are developed around this case. And a lot of it is driven by societal pressures. A lot of it's driven by elections. So it's all driven by human beings. And human beings, you know, human beings are prone to make mistakes. Sometimes here and there, and over, and what have you. But it's complicated because no one goes into something bad. You know, I mean, just digging further these theories on this thing. You know, there's, you know, other things that I've been thinking about lately. There's 2 or 3 different avenues. I come against certain walls. This is something that Tina and I were talking about this morning. Everywhere I go, I come into the walls. That sounds kind of weird, but anyway, I come up to a structure in front of me that I can't get past. You know, the first one that we get to with this whole situation is rather R.A. Richard Allen operated alone or with the help of others on the day of the attack, on the day of the murder, February 13th. Now, what that means, though, it could mean a number of things. It could mean, number one, that someone told them they were going to be there. It could also mean that multiple people were involved. I just thought about this the other day. It's like, you know, Richard Allen's vehicle was seen passing by the HH or the Hoosier, what's it called? The Hoosier Heartland? Not the Hoosier Heartland, the store. The storage building. The place that sells seed or what have you. Hoosier, what's it called? You know what it is. Anyway, so the camera that's on the front of this building out there, the reason why I made such a big deal out of that is because I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a place you go buy stuff or it's a place where you store seeds. Maybe it's some kind of a co-op. I don't know. I need some clarification on that. I have never really figured out what this place is that had the video camera that saw Richard Allen go past and presumably park at the old CPS building or whatever you want to call it. Sit there for 10 minutes. But we don't know if someone else was dropped off at that cemetery or somewhere around it. You know, let's just say Pat Brown was out there. You could park somewhere else. You can drop him off somewhere else and that person can boogie through. You know, maybe there's text messaging going on. And you would think that all this stuff would be registered, you know. I don't know how all this, I don't know what kind of stuff you can digitally retrieve back then. I don't know what you can retrieve from the outside versus the inside. Now, personally, I have GPS systems that track me every inch of my life, every single day. I know where I'm at. And even they mess up because they get a few feet off here and there. But back to this mini tentacled situation. Richard Allen could have dropped someone off somewhere, met them back. You know, they communicated back and forth, knew the girls were going to be there, pulled them down, we're going to pull them up. You know, there was a shit show that turned out and everything went south and it did not turn out like it was going to. It could be that situation. It could be that, you know, he two other scenarios before you even get to figuring out what happened later is, so, you know, you had Richard Allen. What did he know about things from a digital perspective? Did he, you know, someone tell him they were going to be there? Did he figure it out on his own? Did he log into someone else's account? Was he doing his own catfishing? You know, were there two devils catfishing the girls on the bridge that day? Or three, maybe? Who knows? I mean, you hear, I go to you know, other YouTube sites right now. I can hear where there's, you know, half the damn town is involved, you know, in killing these two girls, which it seems weird. Of course, it's not as weird as, you know, ancient Delphi and the ladies that are sent up there that are, you know, drugged and eventually killed, oracles, you know. That's not as strange as that. But if you dig far into Delphi, you'll hear all that. But right now we have Richard Allen that is either tracking the girls on some kind of software situation that he did, something that he's involved with Kagan and the Anthony Shots business, which has been publicized all over Indiana State Police and everywhere in the world. And then, you know, so he could have just showed up at that time. People forget, they don't have to be chased there. It could have been something else. We think it is because, you know, there's the Anthony Shots account tied into this whole situation. You know, it's been, for the past couple of years, it's been Anthony Shots account associated with this. The Abby and Libby tip line goes, you know, for Kagan Klein, for Anthony Shots goes to the Abby and Libby tip line. So there's an entanglement somewhere or the other there. Maybe it's just that there were two devils. Again, multiple devils following those girls out there on that track that day. It could be that. But intertwine it all together. You know. So you know, back to where I was at, we'll intertwine in a little bit. This guy, he's had a miserable day. He's packing his stuff. He's going out there. You know, he may take a couple shots at something, you know. I don't know. Maybe he's been out there before. You know, maybe he shot something. I don't even know what's about this guy. This guy's a ghost. I think he's a serial killer. It's my opinion. But he doesn't have to be there to do some serial killing that day. This could be just some regular Joe. He could just be packing guns because it's legal. You know, got a new president elected. Just a couple of months before. He was just taking office a few days before. Who knows what's going on politically in this dude's head? Who knows? There's all kinds of radical QAnon shit going on. Who knows? You know, he's out there. He's out there that day. You know, he gets there and he's there for 10 minutes. He's pissed off at all of his shit. Everything going on in his life. He's not making the money he wants to make. His girl, his daughter is a couple years out of high school. You know, she needs money for college. You know, something going on, you know. First of the year, just made that note, borrowed some money, pay for college, whatever it was. He went out there to get a break. Monday's his day off. He's a manager at retail. That's the day off. You know, if there's a day, all the squints do that. This guy can have a day off, a few hours off. He goes out there. He's packing. You know, he's leaned up against a tree over there. He's drunk. You know, I hear he had a drinking problem. He's leaned up against a tree there, man. He's taking a piss. You know, trying not to get seen. You know, two little girls come along. Something happens. You know, say some shit. He. You know, he gets pissed off, and first he just walks off, and he comes back. He attacks him, kills him, makes a big nasty scene. Freaks out. Never done this before. He just scatters stuff everywhere and throws it around trying to mislead the cops. That could be it. It could be the serial killer angle. This guy could be killing people all over the place. We don't know. He's a ghost. That's one thing I always talk about everywhere I go. This guy's a ghost. I'm hoping it's like, no, Brad, he's not a ghost. Here's X, Y, and Z about him. Here's X, Y, and Z more. Here's his Facebook page, man. This is all the stuff he did. He checked in with his kids. Here he did this. He walked this, that, and the other. And blah, 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 blah. He posted pictures about whatever. You know? Inspirational messages. You know? The Grim Reaper. And you hear other people talking, he didn't post anything anywhere. He's corrupt. He knows better. His wife gets on his ass. He's hiding everything he can from her. Everything he's hiding from her because she's on his ass. But let's just go ahead and just jump to the murder. And we know he's involved. The son bitch walking across the bridge, guys, down the hill. Hate to tell you, they ain't Ryan Logan. It ain't your daddy. It ain't Kagan Klein. It isn't Tony Klein. It isn't Travis Trexler. That dude walking across here is Richard Allen. You and I both know it. You can't argue with it. You can hear his fucking voice. You can see his head when he turns and spits. That's him. This is the guy. This is the dude we were talking about for all this time. This is the guy. This is the fucking guy, man. This is the dude. This is Bridge Guy. We have him right here. Bridge Guy is in jail. But what else is going on with it? So we got all that. We got whether they tricked to be there or not. Did they know they were there? Did they get a lead off? Did they get it from Kagan? Did they get it on their own? Was it just Richard? Did he have somebody with him he dropped off? Did they have their own vehicle parked right up the road on 300? I mean, there's lines of information going on there. Where the girls moved somewhere else, blah, blah, blah. Of course, you know, one of the things I always say was like, look, man, if the girls are moved somewhere else, guess what? There'd be ATV tracks there because you can't carry 300 pounds around without it. Not of dead weight. Literally dead weight. You can't carry it. It doesn't happen. That's not the way it works. You got to have some kind of a machinery to do it. And even then, it would be weighted down. Like an ATV. It weighs, you know, it's got 200-pound person on it and, you know, 300 pounds of cargo, 400-pound machine. You don't carry it. It's not going to carry that much. You get two big people on it, it's not going to carry it. Now, then you got three people. And even if you dragged, it would be horrible. That's not happening. The murder happened, I'm guessing, relatively quick. It's just, the overnight conspiracy stuff is just, I mean, you know, it was dark by 6:20. I'm talking about dark. It was dark. 6:20. It's like February. You know? We keep forgetting about that. Now it's at 7:30. Now it's what? The end of March? And it sneaked up on us. But it was dark just a few days ago. It was really dark out there. Pretty quick. It's not just magically turning dark at, you know, whatever time, 6:20. I mean, no, it's been easing into it. If it was cloudy, it was even quicker. And it's wintertime, so it was probably cloudy. Probably wasn't a sunny day all day. There's clouds in different places. Sun moves in and out. We saw it that day. There was shadows everywhere. There was sun earlier, but by the end of the day, you know, so it's clouding up. So they didn't find the girls that night. Maybe they didn't. They definitely were not moved that night. So what happens then? 2 or 3 days later, you know, we start seeing stuff in the media. You know, we start seeing an actual picture off of a telephone. A telephone picture. We saw a picture. Of course, there's video and audio there too. We didn't see that there then, but we started seeing a picture. Now, this is where that whole not the only actor involved could come into effect. Because, I mean, there's this woman's husband. You're a small town. I mean, they're a smaller town than what I live in. You know practically everybody there. You know that dude. You know your husband. You know the way your husband walks. You know the way your husband looks. You know the way your husband sounds. Even if it's on some kind of recording, you would know this person. Guys, down the hill. And you would know there was weird shit going on with this dude. Because there's no way that the dude just does some brutal murder like Richard Allen did that day and did not leave some kind of a sign somewhere or the other. Somebody knows. Somebody paid attention. Somebody saw it before. She's been married to this guy for 30-something freaking years. 30 years at least. Whatever. She knows this guy. She's lived with him almost every day of that. She's washed his underwear. She's made love to him. She's bore his child. Did everything with him. All kinds of health scares. All kinds of shit went on during that period of time. Everything you can imagine. Everything. Lose, win, win, lose. It's the whole gamut. She did all of it with this dude. She purchased those clothes. He didn't purchase those clothes. She was involved in it somewhere or the other. Even if it was washing them. She knew those fucking clothes. You know? So there's the other angle. You know, one angle that we've talked about in the past that didn't get a lot of gratuity was the Abby angle. But this is the, Richard Allen's daughter's angle. A lot of people talk about this, though. Everybody's talking about everything I'm talking about. They're just not always talking about it cogently and in a stream, even though it's fragmented and squirreling and rabbit holing as this dialogue is going. Everybody's talking about this. Everybody wants to know what's going on. Everybody is trying to figure out what the hell happened in Delphi, Indiana, around 2:13 p.m. on 2/13/2017. Everybody's trying to figure it out. I mean, there's millions of people that are trying to figure it out all over the world. Every day. Right now, there's somebody trying to figure it out. Somebody's trying to think of a show about it. Something different. Some kind of a really weird spin on it. They're digging into this era, this particular arrow direction, or this direction, or wherever. There's rabbit holes everywhere. Because there's just so much not available. Richard Allen to us is a ghost, but to his wife, I don't know. Maybe he was a ghost. But let's look at it from another angle. Let's just say that she knew about everything that was going on. I mean, if she knew anything about it, she was an actor. But just think about it, though, man. Like, you had this stuff hid in your house. I mean, they brought out stacks of something. Photographs, was it? In little thin photograph-type booklets. I mean, surely she's seen it before, And let's just say, that she's opened it up and there's like pictures of Libby and Abby and, or pictures of posthumous type things even if it's not even, before. And she's thought about the fact that, God, that sure does look like, Ricky. I mean, who is this? Is that Ricky? She would say something. She's too gregarious not to say something. So another quick recap. Back it up. Did someone know? Did Richard Allen? Did old Ricky, little Dicky, whatever y'all guys want to call him? You guys. So like you got Richard that day to 2:13. He's off work. Maybe. How did he know the girls were going to be there? Did he not know? Did he know? Did he find out on his own from his own little social media catfishing account? Did he speak with someone like Kagan or anybody else that's remotely involved with Kagan in these Anthony shots or any of his derivatives? Did he just get pissed off? I mean, is he mad at one of them's parents? Is he mad at them? Did they mess with his daughter? That was the other one we were going to discuss, wasn't it? The daughter angle. Ooh, the daughter angle. Well, who knows what dads do for their daughters or their children. I mean, he messed with my children. Ooh, that's probably, that's a package deal. It comes with other things. I mean, you mess with my children, you mess with me, and a formidable enemy, and of course, Richard Allen maybe too. I don't know. I mean, he's thick. Everybody talks about his minutia, his his minute stream, but I don't know. I don't know. What I saw of him, he looked like a broad guy, you know. And I've messed with all kinds of people forever, you know, short, tall, skinny, rotund, and but you know, I'm a risky kind of guy. I've been in all kinds of fights. You know, size don't really tell me a whole lot, you know. If you hate me worse than I hate you, you may win, unless I can, you know, maneuver around you. But you know, people, whatever size they are, don't really bother me a whole lot either way. You know, there's a lot of serial killers that are bigger people. I get that, but you know, just because you're smaller doesn't mean you can't kill people. And you know, you mess with someone's children, and you might bring on some wrath. I don't know. I mean, you know, maybe Richard Allen was catfished. You know, you're talking about spoofing accounts and whoever you are. I mean, you don't even know. We don't know what happened here. There's going to be a story come out. It's going to be a complex story. You know it has to be. It's just digital. This is what we're seeing with Delphi, why it's so immensely interesting to everybody, because it is the culmination of so many things added together. This is technology. This is sickness. It's evil. It's like a small town innocence taken away. I mean, this is drama of the higher order. I mean, there's a lot of things going on with this. This whole case is just nothing but just complexity. Everything here is complexity. It's just rich with complexity. Sometimes I just sit there and look at it and I think, oh my goodness, with the amount of the amount of variables there in that little area, with you know, SA type stuff, CSA, you know, whatever you want to call it. I mean, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on around there. There's a lot of drug use. There's a lot of crime. And you have changing generations. You have Richard Allen, who's a Generation Extra involved. I just can't figure that out. I'm like, why are you out there? Why is some dude, okay, that has, you know, had a reasonably lackluster career, but, you know, he's not been a laborer. You know, he's been kind of upfront kind of guy. You know, he stood at the counter, checked people out. You know, he was savvy enough to do that. You know, he may not have been running the whole company. He may not have been helping run a company. He may not have been doing much at all, but other than being just a friendly smile at the cash out place that was counter. But that's what he did, you know. How did this guy, you know, cashier, customer service rep, at a high volume retail location, been married for 30 years, 25 years at the time, I believe, had a child that was had graduated high school and maybe even college at that time, almost college, if not, you know. I mean, you know, if not close, but I mean, this is not just some, you know, guy that's, you know, been committing crimes and have tattoos all over his face since he was 12. You know, this is not that guy. I mean, he may have been doing things. I mean, you know, we don't know exactly what this guy was doing. We know he was traveling around. You know, he's hiding in plain sight. In fact, that's what I wanted to call a show on him, is the plain sight killer. And that's what he is. Plain sight killer right now. I mean, we don't know enough to go any further, but if it's Richard Allen, which we know it's him walking across that bridge, I mean, come on. Tell me it's not. That's Richard Allen. If you look at this guy, by the time him and his wife were having their little anniversary and she walks up on him in the car, that's Richard Allen. That's Richard Allen at the time of Bridge Guy. That's Richard fucking Allen. That's Bridge Guy. That's the same thing. Corporate, tell me the difference between Bridge Guy and the guy in that car that day. They're the same picture. I'm out.